Welcome to part 2 of the Rome Remastered Battle Royale AI Only campaign. I loved recording part 1, so I had to do another part. But before I begin, I do want to say a very quick thank you to the modder himself for helping me out. Here's what happened. I could not access this save. I couldn't get into it. And I thought the series had to end there, which would have been super disappointing. But luckily, I got in touch with the modder. He came through, turns out there was a patch that I didn't know, and he fixed it for me. So big thank you to the modder there, for saving the series. But without further ado, let's continue. Let's continue seeing Messana conquer the world, alongside Athens. I love this. And kicking this episode off, the Marcomanni have been destroyed. I believe they were one of these factions here, because I did see them expand. Yeah, the Cimbri faction, the main Germanic faction right now. They're doing quite well. Meanwhile, down here, who has... Oh, Rhodes is coming back with... Sparta took it? Oh wow, Sparta? They've lost Sparta and their Greek holdings, but they took Crete, and from there, they actually were able to take Halicarnassus. I was about to make a big deal about Rhodes being here, but no, Sparta took it. That's the big thing. Over here we've got Tribalist separatists. Yeah, they're surviving here in Byzantium and Nicomedia. But Pontus is about to take a settlement from them. And meanwhile, Egypt continuing the push. They're doing quite well. Oh, and Rhodes. They don't even need to put it under siege. They just walked right in there and took it. So Sparta instead going for Sardis. I love this AI actually expanding across the water. I've got no idea if it's for mod, if it's for patch or what, but I'm liking what I'm seeing. And Egypt pushing for Ankara too. And Seleucia. Meanwhile on this front, Carthage taking Demide. Are they finally pushing back against the Numidians? That would be good to see. A new Carthage rising. No, Rome! Attacking Messana in Sardinia. Oh, that's not a good sign for Messana. Yep, Egypt took Hatra and Ankara. Meanwhile, Sparta now going for Halicarnassus, or is that Parthia? Yeah, I think it's Parthia going for it. And Athens, are they finally on the move? I think they are, they're moving again. Going for the Tribali. And pushing into Illyria too. Yes, expanding on 2 fronts, that's good. Now it would be really smart of them by this point if they took Crete and maybe got involved in Anatolia. I was speaking highly of Carthage earlier, but they've just lost Corduba to the Saguntum faction, who's getting pretty big now, 4 settlements. Not bad. Athens having a bit of a civil war going here. Yeah, they're struggling to hold on to their ever-expanding empire. Meanwhile, down here Parthia took Halicarnassus. Sparta, what are you going to do now? So yeah, Parthia's now back in the game. Oh no, Rome! Taking Caralis here. Messana back to Sicily. Carthage have an army here, but Messana has an army here. I bet neither faction does anything with either army. Although we could see a Roman invasion. Yeah, that's looking kind of likely at this point. Carthage has been kicked out of Iberia. How are they looking in Africa? They're holding on to their settlements. But they're struggling against the Mori. Yeah, it's a very slow expansion for them. Wow, the Egyptians all the way up here. They've got a lot of Pontic armies to fight, but I think they can handle it. Yeah, that's a long way from home. I thought they'd focus more on Anatolia rather than cross the mountains, but oh well. This Tribali civil war faction is doing quite well in Anatolia, at 4 settlements so far. That's quite good. Well done to the Tribali rebellion. Oh, here we go, Rome, at last. Landing in Greece. Are they going to push for Athenian Epirus? I think they are. And possibly going to have an attack from the north as well. Yeah, that would be good. I think Rome needs to take them out now. And Athens, I hope they're prepared, never mind. All their armies are stuck here up north. That could be detrimental to the Athenian Empire there. I don't know who I want to win. On the one hand, I want to see Athens do it. On the other, I'd kind of like a super powerful Rome conquer everything. I've got to go with Athens there. We've seen Rome win before, we've never seen a strong Athens. By the way, massive Roman civil war happening up north. All of these settlements here are Roman breakaway settlements, so yeah, that's not a good sign for them, and not a good sign for the AI overall. Modder, if you're watching this, in my opinion, I think the civil wars need a little bit of a rework, but certainly the AI needs a lot of help when it comes to managing the public order more. Maybe just a few more bonuses, I think they need. Yeah, because big powers are struggling to expand here. Oh, the Seleucid Empire making a comeback, taking back Hatra, and what is the green faction here? The Tribali! Where did they come from? Now, they can't have formed the nation of Tribali, because for that to be a thing, the Tribali need to be dead. So I've got no idea what happened there. Either someone from here made it down to here and took Pergamon, or maybe the Tribali Civil War faction took Pergamon, but then the Civil War faction revolted, and it went back to the Tribali instead of Pontus. Either way, I like it. I don't know how it happened though. Oh, go on, Messana, coming in with another army. I doubt they'll do anything against Rome, but you know, it's the thought and the effort that counts. Oh, and even the Carthaginian rebellion is here too. They sailed in from Palma, which is under siege by Carthage itself. Oh, and by the way, I'm loving the border gore right now in the north of the Middle East. Oh, that looks awful. Beautifully awful. Oh, I've captured the Colossus of Rhodes. Oh, Rhodes died. Due to regicide, that must have been. Ah, poor Rhodes. Yeah, all their generals must have died. Oh well. Also, forgot to say, the Demeter faction here, however it's pronounced, conquered all of Britain. So well done to them. Pontus. Really not looking good. Down to their final 3 settlements. Holding out here, but they're completely surrounded. I don't like how it looks for them. They're in trouble. Sparta, you've got to be careful here. You've got a lot of armies, but you only have 1 settlement, and it's currently revolting, so, you know, be careful, Sparta. Be careful. Rome took Epirus, Apollonia, pushing deeper into Greece. That's not good for Athens. If they cannot control it, I think they're done. I think they will fall to the might of Rome, and it's not a good sign that all their armies are up here in the north. Well done to Carthage though, securing their borders in Africa, pushing the Mori back to their final settlement once more. And they are not hesitating at all. This is what I like to see. It's time for the death of the Mori. And over here, the Tribali are back in Pergamon. Meanwhile, Pontus, yeah, losing another settlement now. Ah, they was doing so well. But then the Tribali invaded and the Egyptians just cut straight through them. I think the invasion of Parthia didn't help them too much either. Rest in peace to the Mori. Carthage, at long last, finally did it. Well done, Carthage. Good job. Only took about 70 years. What I'm really liking about this mod is that because there's so many factions, expansion is slower and it more fits the rate of the actual turn date over here, which is quite good. And who is this in Mediolanum now? The Nervi pushing through. Yeah, they've built a decent empire over here in Gaul. Hey, well done Nervi, well done. Oh, the Pictones, they took Oscar. Saguntum trying to take it back, but I don't know if they will. Are they going to become the main dominant power of Iberia now? They're doing well so far, and they are holding the empire together too. Like, it's not full of revolts like Rome. And the Nervi pushing on Segesta, taking Patavium. Rome's still dealing with its civil war. Oh, poor Rome. And what is this over here? Egypt, storming through, taking Hatra and Seleucia in the same turn. Meanwhile, the Eorzoi faction from over here continuing to expand into the Middle East. But the Seleucid Empire, they've got decent armies. They could bring it back, but they are down to their final settlement. Okay, I have no idea what happened there on the map. Oh, the Tribali. The Tribali died here. So the Tribali rebel faction was strong enough to form the Tribali. So the Tribali are back. It's sort of like a very weird horde mechanic, rather than a civil war mechanic. Oh wow, so they're now back in full swing here, in Anatolia instead. A power that should be in Dacia. I like it. Athens, what you doing? Why do you need Campus Scythia here? Why are you going for Tanais and Crimea, when the Romans over here are causing trouble? Well, not too much trouble anymore, because they're actually struggling against the Nervi, but still, go take it back, that's what I would do. By the way, I'm not saying anything, but I have been tempted lately, and this is no guarantee, but to come back to a roleplay campaign, maybe on the second channel, so you know, it's a side thing, does not interfere with everything else, as perhaps Carthage in this mod. Not saying anything, only that I am considering it. Let me know what you'd think down below in the comments. Oh, the Pictones making the move in Iberia. Was I right? Or they're pushing for Saguntum itself. Saguntum do have the troops, but I don't think it'll be enough. Oh, Saguntum did fall, and Asturica, or Galatia, whatever you want to call it, is under siege. They're trying to bring troops in. They brought them in by sea. No idea where from. Maybe the Americas, I don't know. But I don't think they're going to get there in time. Definitely not if they're going that way round. Oh, they're dead. Saguntum trying the pushback here, but I think it's all falling apart for them. The Pictones, they are too strong. The British faction landing here in mainland Europe with 4 very big armies. Could they, by destroying the Pictones up north, accidentally come to the rescue of Saguntum? It is possible. Oh, there we go, the game is over. Hope you enjoyed the video. MELKOR. Now, I'll continue. Egypt won. There we go. The Seleucid Empire died. I play short victory objective because, you know, I find it more entertaining. And the Egyptians actually got the win. They had the settlement count. Well done, Egypt. Well done. Alright, but it's not over yet. I'm not ending it. I'm going to continue. The Pictones still expanding, although they're slowed down a bit over here. And the British faction not really doing anything. Oh, the Egyptians are on the move against the tribal faction to the north. They've taken one settlement. They're now pushing on Susa. I don't know what he's about to do to that elephant, but best zoom away. By the way, Cyrenaica, it revolted, and then Carthage took it. But yeah, could be interesting to see a war between the two. And meanwhile, Sparta and Parthia, yeah, still doing nothing. But Rome sorted itself out near enough. That's good to see. Wow, okay, so a lot happened. The Cimbri got absolutely demolished by the Aesti faction, which I think, yeah, started here. They're doing really well now, yeah, completely wiping them out. But the British have finally woken up and attacked Northern Europe, taking these two settlements here. The Pictones did take that, wiping out that faction, but even Saguntum is on the move. They're trying to take Corduba and the other settlement, but I don't know if Saguntum can keep this up and hold out. The British might just come to their rescue. Meanwhile, Rome pushing onto Massilia now. Yeah, they're moving. The Roman war machine is on the move. I didn't actually see how this happened, but they took Larissa. I don't know how that happened. I did not see any troops at all. I'm assuming they took it from Epirus, and then they lost Epirus, so now they're cut off. But I'm actually starting to think it was part of a peace deal, which is weird, because I was watching the area, and I swear there were no troops around here. It just appeared at random. I saw this army earlier. Who is that? I've honestly got no idea who these are. The Deorsi. Oh wait, is that? Yeah, that's these guys here. Look at that trade. Yeah, they must have crossed all the way around here to Sicily. Don't you touch my Messana. This must have happened at some point too. Messana retook Caralis from Rome. But Carthage is now interested. And there's a load of troops on the border right now, which is, yeah, looking interesting. And meanwhile, Scythia, famous as they are for their navy, crossed the sea and took Pontus's capital. Pontus is now down to just 2 settlements once more, and, of course, well done Egypt. They're doing incredible in the Middle East. And of course, Sparta and Parthia are doing nothing at all. The British continuing their push, taking Lemons, but so does Rome, taking Massilia, Lugdunum, Trier, and hardly a sign of civil war. Have they figured it out? Are they holding on to their territories now? That would be good to see. Oh, but the Pictones took back Numantia. Can Saguntum hold? Come on, Saguntum, you can do this. I believe in you, Saguntum. Oh, the Nervi died. Rome took Alesia, wiping them out. Ah, rest in peace. And no, Rome is losing territories still to the civil war. The Aorsoi died, which were the guys over here. Well done, Egypt, wiping out yet another faction. Where are they going to go next? Scythia? Clean up some territories, Pontus maybe? Or to the Tribali? Anyway, Scythia did lose that settlement, but they're trying again. And meanwhile, Africa, yeah, just keeps revolting now. I think the AI does need a public order boost. If possible, like a public order boost for the AI, but not for the player, I think would be perfect. Overall, I'm thinking about it now, and seeing how the Tribali and Carthage in the last episode can, like, reform the nation, I think that's a cool mechanic. So, personally, I would not change the civil wars, I don't think. I do kind of like it. It has grown on me. But definitely a public order boost I think is needed. Athens took Tanais here, and I kind of forgot about this. I think there is a Horde faction in the game. The Cimbri, who had northern Germany. Because if we look down here, there's a 4-stack army of them right here. And they've got no cities. So they are the Horde faction that I forgot about. I think it's some historical reference, I'm not too familiar with it. So yeah, they're making the pushback now. And they've got a new homeland in Patavium. Well done to the Cimbri. Well done. I don't think they took it back. I think the settlement, yeah, it revolted. But now they're Horde again, so I don't know where they're going to go. With armies like that and with Roman troops over here, they could actually make it for Rome, and with barbarians on the border too. Rome could struggle here. They already lost Alesia to a civil war. The Pictones, are they making a comeback? Maybe only a small one. And Saguntum, they are surviving down here. But it's gonna be a while, I think, if we ever see them come back. Oh yes, go on Messana, take Carthage. Come on, please. It's so easy, it's right there for you. Come on Messana, you can do this. I believe in you. Come on. Nope, they didn't take it that turn. How long until it starves out? 4 more turns. I'm watching this live. I want to see the moment that it happens. Oh god. This stupid AI. They pulled off of it, come on. Poor Pontus, by the way, completely surrounded in Egyptian territory there. Oh no, Saguntum. Down to their final settlement. They're trying though. They're trying to bring it back. But is it too late? They're trying up here too. That's a big army. They could do it. They could do it. They could easily pull this back. But I don't know if they will. You know, it depends on the AI, if you know what I mean. Oh no, they're under siege and oh, they're pulling off. They're worried they're going back home to defend their final settlement. Oh, poo. Well, Saguntum, I think, is dead. And there we go. The Pictones did it. They conquered Iberia. But at what cost? They lost their territories in Gaul to do that. And what are the British going to do now? Like, these two powers now have to turn on each other. And it's going to be a very brutal war on these border regions here. It's already starting. The British already entering into Iberia. By the way, I've got no idea where the Cimbri horde is actually going. No clue. Meanwhile, over here, Scythia taking another settlement in Anatolia, and although it looks like a dumb move to us, it's a good thing they did, because otherwise Athens would have killed them by now. So yeah, weirdly turned out okay for them. And Parthia and Sparta still doing nothing. The big barbarian power to the north, heavily pushing against Athens. I think Athens would be okay though, once they get all of their troops into action. Although they are struggling with civil wars and Romans still in Larissa and, yeah, other barbarians on other fronts. Look at the size of this Roman civil war. That's not good for them. Okay, come on Messana, you can do this. Meanwhile, the British storming through Iberia. Yes, they're doing well. They're doing really well. And the Tribali taking Ancyra and Tarsus on the same turn. Egypt. Where are your armies? What are you doing, Egypt? I think they're planning for a war against Carthage. Okay, Egypt retook Tarsus, but they lost Massacre and Scythia, taking another settlement too, and pushing for another one. Oh no, Egypt, don't throw it away now. Don't be that dumb. Oh, but the British pushing onto Mastia down here, trying to retake Ostia. They took Emporium, but the Pictones pushing for Numantia. Oh, and the Tribali actually just fell apart to rebellion. They just collapsed instantly. So did Scythia in these two territories here. They took this one though, but, you know, they lost the other two. Is this the Cimbri faction? Yeah, they settled Narbo Martius. Up, the Tribali came back, gaining 3 new settlements in one turn. I don't fully understand how this civil war mechanic works. I'm assuming the cities revolted and went back to the original owner, but I'm not too sure. I know it has loyalty mechanics, But yeah, I don't know how it works. The British had a push through, taking the southern lands, but the Pictones regained themselves, taking Numantia and Velikia. Who is this here? A Carthaginian rebellion faction. Where did they come from? Oh, a rebel settlement here, so they must have, yeah, arrived by sea. Wow, rebel factions attacking you by sea. Never thought I would see the day. Oh, something happened. Has Parthia done something? Oh, no way, they took Sardis. Well done, Parthia, well done. Finally moving again. And what are the Egyptians doing? Piling up a massive force, ready to conquer Western Anatolia. Here we go, at last. Well done, Rome, taking firm on, but it looks like it will cost them their entire Greek front here, because, yeah, Athens aren't too happy about that. They're going to get their revenge. And finally, the Tribali, from a joint effort of Egypt and Parthia, has been kicked out of Anatolia. They're now on their final settlement. Well done, Tribali though. You've got to give them the credit. They did well. The British faction not pushing too much onto the Pictones anymore. I think they have come to some sort of agreement, like some Castile and Aragon agreement here. But they're going for the Roman Civil War faction instead, wiping them out, which, to be honest, I think is the better move. Secures their position in Gaul, but it does give them a heavy border with Rome, so could be a little shaky. They all see, the Dacian Illyrian faction over here, they finally fell. Ah, rest in peace. Athens is actually struggling against the barbarians here, losing territories now, and meanwhile, they haven't been able to take these two back from Rome. It's not looking good for the Athenian Empire. They're falling apart here. And meanwhile, what is Egypt doing? Pushing onto Scythia, I think. Yeah, wipe out Scythia and Pontus, get them gone. Not pushing onto Parthia though. Well done to the British faction here, wiping out the civil war there, taking loads of territories, and I think wiping out the Cimbri too. I don't know where they respawned though. Alright, here they are, they're up here, attacking now Trier, just causing further issues for the Romans here. A lot of Romans landing in Sardinia here, they want Cavalis, but so do the Carthaginians, so does Messana, and either way, nobody is gonna do anything about it but stand here and watch. Oh, I didn't see that one coming. The Pictones crossing into Africa. Hey, good on them. Although it is going to overextend them a little bit, I think, which would allow the British to just invade this rich, valuable land here. Oh, Scythia died. The Egyptians finally did it, wiping them out. Alright, are they going to go now for Parthia or Pontus? I bet Parthia. I don't know why, but they're keeping Pontus alive, which is a weird move. I bet they have vassalised them. No, they have not. Not even allies, they're allied to Parthia instead. So why are they not going for Pontus? For Pictones? Going for the Carthaginians now, having a big push into Africa, and the Cimbri have taken Patavium again. Meanwhile, the Pictones over here taking Iol. And even more Romans piling in. Oh, and the Pictones position just collapsed in Africa. Carthage made the comeback. This must have happened, I think, 2 turns ago. And they had a revolt over here. It all fell apart. That's what I mean about overextension. They should not have bothered. Who's getting in here now? The British faction, sailing from Iberia, has made it into Sardinia too. Ah, I love it. You know what, I'm screenshotting this, I think. There we go. That might be the thumbnail. The Egyptians, meanwhile, They seem a little stuck here again, which is common for the AI. Not going for Pontus, getting stuck here, getting a little stuck here. Yeah, I think they've fallen into the AI trap, which is unfortunate. Although the remaster does handle this much better than the original. At least with the remaster, eventually, I think they start moving again. In the original, that'll be it, the faction will be stuck forever. At least eventually, the faction will wake up and do something. I think it's the diplomacy right now. They're not willing to go to war with Pontus or Parthia, so they're kind of stuck. And the Athenian position here is looking awful. A shadow of its former self. It's basically now just Greece and Crimea, with Thermon under Roman hands. Not good, but to be honest, most of this now is civil war, brought about by an invasion from the barbarians, so they were holding on to it fine earlier. But the invasion, yeah, and the loss of territory over here, the invasion of Rome, I think cost them, and they could not hold on to these territories. Oh, there we go, the Egyptians finally went to war with Parthia, and in about one turn, just stormed right in there, taking Pergamon and Sardis, and Sparta were the ones to take Halicarnassus. Yeah, see, as I said, in the original, their armies would have been stuck there forever. In the remaster, the difference is that when a war does break out, they will go for it. But Parthia is not dead. They are surviving as a horde faction. Wait a minute. Somehow they took Rhodes. I've got no idea how that happened. Either way, when they do eventually lose Rhodes, or if they do lose Rhodes, then they'll be dead. Actually, you know what? This is a genius way to get rid of the horde faction without having to fight the horde. You know, just get them to take an island, get them to capture that, and then just leave them there. Let them hold the island, and you can conquer everything else. Athens here too, to ruin it for everybody. They'll take the settlement, lose it to a civil war, and Parthia will respawn right here with 10 stacks. Oh, Sparta, are you sure you really want to do that? Going to war with Egypt there, taking Sardis? Earlier I would have been all for it, but now, a move like that is kind of a death sentence, because now you've got all these guys who are gonna come for you. Maybe not the smartest of moves. And meanwhile, the barbarians to the north, pushing into Italy or Rome, they're crumbling. They're falling apart here. Oh, that's not good. They could lose their Alpine front, and then all of Italy is under threat. Maybe stop caring so much about Sardinia, and they might be okay. I've got to take another screenshot. It just gets worse. The British are the ones besieging it. They're the only ones doing something here. Oh, that's chaos. Yep, there we go. All the Egyptian armies suddenly turn around and they're going for Sparta. There we go, Sardis under siege. And at last, the Tribali are dead. Athens took their final settlement of Byzantium. Rest in peace, Tribali. And Sardis fell. Are they going to push for Halicarnassus now? Or won't they bother? And Caralis fell. The British faction actually went and took it. Well done to them. Right, what are the Romans going to do now? Are they now going to defend their lands? Bologna has fallen to the barbarians. Come on, Rome, wake up! To be honest though, in their defence, I think it's the Civil War that really slowed them down most. That was their main issue. Otherwise, you know, they conquered all the way up here. They conquered all the way over here. They'd have conquered all of Europe by now, if it wasn't for the civil wars. And there we go, Halicarnassus is under siege. I hope for Sparta's sake, they have a general in here, yes they do. He's quite young, so they should be okay on the regicide front. But Athens might go for it. Oh, never mind, they're off back home. Oh, but the Romans themselves, taking Athens there, that sneaky attack. Oh, that's not good for the Athenians. Is it me, or is it getting more chaotic? Rome finally attacking Caralis. Well done, Egypt, taking Halicarnassus there. They now control the entire Middle East, apart from this tiny settlement here, the smallest in the game, owned by Pontus. And they took it. Caralis has fallen. What is Rome going to do now with all these armies? They can only send about 1 or 2 back home at a time though, so that's going to be difficult for them. Athens retook Thermon, but they failed at Athens itself, of course. Anyway, I am now 200 turns in, and I don't plan to go any further for today's episode. But I am wanting to do another episode, I think. Maybe a big final part 3 to see who's going to win. Yeah, we've got it down now to the final big great powers. Who's going to win it? I've got no clue at all. Most likely Egypt. But still, I think we should give it one more episode, because if a power can conquer basically all of Europe, then I think I'd give them the win, rather than to the Egyptians. Undecided right now. Here's the map, if anyone wanted a look. I'll check the stats after too. So overall, the main great powers I would say would be Egypt and Aeste. Of course, I'd put the British in here too. I wouldn't put Athens in at this point. Neither really the Pictones. I am going to put Rome in as a great power, simply because of the amount of troops they have. But that's only if they use them correctly, so I don't know. Let's check out the stats. Okay, so this here is all surviving factions. In first place is Egypt. In second is, I think that is Rome. Yep, Rome is in second place. Interesting. Military is there. Still Rome in second again. Production. Territory. I think the Aeste faction is in second there. Finances and population, which Rome is in third and the Aeste are in second. So overall, according to the stats, and this is why I wanted to put them as a great power, even though Rome has not done much, I think they still have the power potential to bring this back, if only they can control their civil wars. And actually, you know what, I'm kind of tempted to put the Athenian Civil War faction as a great power, because, yeah, they do have a lot of territories here. Poor Athens and poor Rome, they just can't handle their own people. That's their weakness. You know, these republics and democracies, they're not working here. Only the tribal warlord system seems to work. Maybe it's time we readopted that into the modern world. Well, anyway, hope you enjoyed. Leave a like if you did, subscribe if you want to see more, share with anyone you think may be interested. Mod will be linked down below in the description, but for now, until the next one, MELKOR.